On a bright sunny day, Monsu and his family are having a wonderful lunch thanks to the expensive meat sent by the papermaking company he works for as a reward for being a great employee for 25 years. Monsu's neurodivergent daughter Rione plays the cello while his wife Mi opens the very expensive gift he bought her. Monsu is so happy with his life that he brings the family into a tight hug. The next day at the factory, Monsu learns that the company has been bought by Americans, who will cut 20% of the production line and want a list of names to fire. Monsu approaches the new owner to try to convince him not to fire anyone, but the man ignores him. A co-worker asks Monsu if he was sent expensive food, revealing that only the fired employees received that gift as a passive-aggressive goodbye. That means Monsu is unemployed now. Without telling his family yet, Monsu decides to join a support group for unemployed people. The host puts everyone through a ritual in which they touch their faces while repeating that losing their jobs isn't their fault and that their families will support them. This gives Monsu enough strength to call Mi and tell her what happened, but he promises he'll be employed again in just 3 months. 13 months later, Monsu is working in retail with a very small salary and bad hours. He also has a very annoying toothache, but he refuses to spend money on the dentist. One day, a friend gets him an interview at an important company, so Monsu asks his manager if he can leave earlier. This gets him fired, and since he has to give back his uniform, he ends up on the street in his underwear. Monsu's friend warns him that during the interview, the company always asks people what their weak point is, which is a very sensitive issue. He calls Mi for ideas on how to answer, but she only says that he loves plants too much. When Mi checks the mail, she discovers they're behind on the mortgage payments. In the afternoon, Monsu goes to the interview and stays nervous the entire time. When he's asked about his weak point, he says he isn't able to say no to anything. This causes him to fail the interview. That night, Mi announces that she got a job at a dental clinic. She's also made a list of all the extra activities that the family will have to stop doing until Monsu gets a job, although Rione is allowed to keep her cello classes. She wants to trade their cars for smaller, cheaper models and sell the house so they can pay for their loans and rent an apartment. Monsu hates the idea and reminds her that this is his childhood home, which he worked very hard on to repair. However, Rione points out that Monsu's severance money has run dry and shows him a letter from the bank, which says they'll lose the house in 3 months if they don't pay. In the morning, Mi's parents take the family dogs and Mi tells the kids they'll get them back when Monsu finds a job. Afterward, a potential buyer named Won-no arrives to check out the house and Monsu is extremely uncomfortable, so he leaves. Outside he finds his son Sion hanging out with his best friend Jian-ho, who happens to be Won-no's son. Rione is crying over the dogs and Monsu promises her that they won't abandon the house. After another failed interview, Monsu ends up begging on his knees and sharing his situation in tears while blocking the bathroom door to keep the boss listening.